Now, Lil Tecca After Ransom. What's up with Lil Tecca nowadays? Since my Lil Skies update video got such a positive reception, I thought let me do this for another rapper, why not? And you know what, I'll make another one of these update style videos if this one gets, let's say, 10,000 likes. And the next one I do will be on Trippy Red. By the way, regarding the 10,000 likes, I feel like that's very achievable. The Lil Skies one is close to 19k, so hey, you know what to do. But Lil Tecca After Ransom. Let's talk about her. Now, Lil Tecca is of course a rapper who rose to fame last year with his very much successful hit Ransom. The Cole Bennett directed video took Lil Tecca from a rapper who had the potential to blow up to getting there within the span of weeks of the Ransom video dropping. Ransom, as we all know, was absolutely huge. It just kept on climbing and climbing the charts for months until it peaked at number 4 on the Billboard Hot 100 chart in September of 2019. Before Lil Tecca linked up with Cole Bennett for the Ransom music video though, he did have a couple of other songs that were really starting to catch a lot of heat. One of them was Love Me, which is his second most streamed song to date. Molly Girl is another one, really good one by the way. Did It Again, which dropped on World Star Hip Hop, was another really successful record before Ransom. Now Ransom pretty much just put a spotlight on all those other songs that were on the verge of getting popular. That's where the benefit of having prior strong singles before that blow up comes in, because when it does eventually hit, like in Lil Tecca's case, it's almost like a first impression kind of thing where all that Ransom success either translates into real fans or it doesn't, which for Lil Tecca it definitely did. He set himself up real good for when his album We Love You Tecca came out in August of 2019. The album sold 68,000 copies first week. For an artist who blew up just a couple months before that, those are some crazy numbers. The album also had 0 features. That's another thing, he carried himself on that one, which says a lot. As of right now though, it's been over a year since he dropped another project, but another one, Virgo World, is on the way, or it might have just dropped as I'm dropping this video. The album is coming out September 18th, and at the time of me dropping this video, the lead single for it, Our Time, has been released. Apart from that though, throughout this past year, it seems like he's been building up the anticipation for songs through snippets on social media. That's kind of been the main way for him to promote songs that he eventually ended up dropping. He did it for the song I Don't Know, aka Ops I Don't Know. This is a song that I personally initially didn't like because of the choppy flow and somewhat offbeat rapping. For some reason though, I don't know what it is by the way, but there is something about the way he rapped, you know, that I'm kind of addicted to. I think this is one of those untraditional Lil Tecca sounding tracks. The hook is pretty melodic, which that's not unusual for him, but the rapping style and the delivery seems to be. Another record he previewed through a snippet and then eventually ended up dropping was Outta Love. This is hands down the best song he's dropped in 2020. I think this one deserves way more attention than it's gotten. Yes, it is actually the most successful one he's dropped this year, so I can't say that it's underrated, but I feel like this was a missed opportunity though, because I think some Cole Bennett directed visuals for, you know, this particular song would have not only made so much sense, but it would have helped the track be so much more successful. Apart from that though, people love it. You know, a lot of people are gravitating towards it heavy though, so it's not like things turned out bad. He also dropped a record with Lil TJ called All Star, or should I say All Star. For some reason I could never imagine this collab working all that well, but it definitely did. It was really dope to see him working with some other names that are in the same lane as him. Surprisingly, Lil Tecca barely works with other artists, period. Haven't really seen him do too many collaborations at all, but I feel like this next project, Virgo World, is gonna have a lot of that. I heard a snippet of a song he had with, I believe was Nav, which I don't know what the end result of that's gonna look like. Music wise, where would I place Lil Tecca in this new generation of hip hop though? He's been in the game for a solid year now. People recognize his name and face. He obviously has both feet in the industry, which is very important. Another really important thing for Lil Tecca is the fact that Cole Bennett rocks with him so heavy. From what I can tell, their relationship seems to be deeper than just a rapper he occasionally works with. I'm gonna make a video on this, but I feel like people really underestimate the power and the influence Cole Bennett actually has. So having him on your side is such a good resource. Whatever next potential hit he's sitting on that gets that lyrical lemonade visual, that could reach that Ransom level, you never know. Apart from that though, I think Lil Tecca's placement in the game is he's the epitome of the youth in the rap game. He's obviously extremely young, just from an image perspective, he's very relatable. And yes, it is because of the whole, you know, quote unquote nerd image that I'm saying that. You gotta keep in mind that this aspect of his appearance has played to his advantage so much. Lil Tecca by default looks like that kid in class, and there's a lot of kids like that. He looks like that kid next door. Obviously, he ain't no kid no more since he turned 18 very recently, but he looks like a regular ass nigga is what I'm trying to say, you know what I mean? In our culture where there's a lot of pretending, there's a lot of people who play the perception game just for appearances, I think he's a very refreshing personality in the game for that reason. He doesn't try to look a certain way. It's extremely exhausting to be keeping up with an image, which is the exact reason why I think he admitted to capping on Ransom and did it again when he talked about having 2 twin Glocks and flying to France. You might have seen the Genius verified videos. One thing I'm asking myself though is, when it comes to rappers like Lil Tecca, what kind of progression are we gonna see from someone like him? He's obviously a product of the whole speaker knockers sound like a lot of other rappers. He has a sound that's very specific to this new generation of rappers, but Lil Tecca isn't the kind of rapper who makes that heartfelt rap, as an example, kind of like Polo G. So he has to expand and diversify his style and get creative on other aspects like the melodies, the production, you know, to an extent, the content as well. I think there's always room for growth no matter what kind of rapper we're talking about. For Lil Tecca though, I don't know what his ceiling is. I think personally, as of right now, since the album hasn't dropped yet, I think the closest we've gotten to that ceiling is most likely Out of Love. I don't doubt for a second that we're gonna hear at least one song or two that top that one on his forthcoming project. As far as his presence in the game, it's obviously not as present as it was when that Ransom wave was going crazy. I think that's kind of the disadvantage he has going into this next album. I'm talking about the fact that there ain't much that can beat that post-hit success that one gets. Obviously that Ransom clout was just different, right? And there's gonna be a clear contrast felt that's a little bit more underwhelming when Virgo World drops, but that's of course a cycle every single rapper goes through, especially if they've been on somewhat of a high previously, which Tecca has. To me personally though, the way I see it is, the second album says a lot more about rappers than the first one. You gotta keep in mind, when you're a fresh name in a game, you have the benefit of being a new thing. People automatically turn their attention to you, and whether or not you keep that attention, that depends on if you have any kind of staying power to begin with. Usually when I talk about staying power, I'm talking about longevity, but this time I'm not talking about longevity here, strictly talking about if you can convert that attention to actual fans, which that obviously comes down to what the music sounds like. With that being said, I think this next phase of Lil Tecca's career is gonna be a defining one. A couple things that I'm wondering off the top of my head are, number one, sound wise, will there be any kind of improvement from the last one? Number two, numbers wise, will it perform more or less than We Love You Tecca? And number three, how is he gonna be able to progress after the fact? Is he gonna be able to maintain whatever buzz Virgo World gives him until that next drop? It's gonna be interesting to see how that turns out for him. After all, Lil Tecca had one of the bigger rap songs of 2019, but I want to see him go above and beyond just Ransom. Whether he can do that, hey, like they say, only time will tell. But yeah, Lil Tecca After Ransom. What's your thoughts on this topic? Personally, how do you think his career has progressed after the song helped him blow up? Are you still checking for Lil Tecca? Are you bumping his music? And most importantly of all, are you anticipating his next drop, which is titled Virgo World? Definitely let me know in the comment section below and let's have a discussion about this.